Welcome back, folks. This is episode 103. It's the Corner House Chronicles. I'm John.
I'm Jason.
How you doing today, sir?
Not too bad.
No, me neither.
You're sounding a little hoarse, though.
Yeah, we went to a concert a couple nights ago. I shouted every word to every song for 2 hours. Took its toll on me the last couple of days.
That will do it.
Surprisingly, I actually sound better today, so.
Well, that's good.
Good thing we waited a day.
Progress.
So, to all the listeners, we teased you with episode 103 was going to be the movie The Last Boy Scout.
Yes.
Unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Due to finding it?
Yeah, right. The only place that I could find it was YouTube for $3.
Or Stars.
Right, and I was like, I don't feel right about paying money for a movie when I already have all these other platforms that I pay for. You know?
It's true.
So, improvise. We chose the 1994 comedy classic Airheads, and we're going to tell you about it. It's Corner House Chronicles Day. First things first, shout out to Ernie Hudson. 94 was a good year, my friend.
Apparently so.
Well, it was a good year for us as viewers of his work, but...
also, again, a great year for movies.
Right, but the box office wasn't too good for Airheads.
No, it was not. I think it was like a $11 million budget, and they made 8.
I saw 5.6 domestic, so...
Let's see.
But yeah, that was surprising to me, but it could be because 94 was such a big year.
Oh, they only made $5,751,000.
Oof.
Pretty rough.
That's a little under budget.
Smidge.
Especially for that cast. They had to dole out quite a bit of money to get all them people together at the same time, I would think.
I don't know. That was still relatively early in a lot of their careers.
Well, some of them.
Yeah.
Like Steve Buscemi's career was pretty popping by then, wasn't it?
It was doing well.
Yeah.
Still in the early stages.
And there was a lot of SNL characters in it. You had Farley.
I think that was Farley's first movie appearance.
Was it?
I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, Ernie Hudson. I mean, of
Ernie,
course, we would start with him.
The fact that it has 2 Ghostbusters, can't really go wrong.
No, I'm surprised they wouldn't have tried to get a third or even all 4 in there somehow, just because, you know.
Trying to figure out where Dan Aykroyd would fit in and trying to get a hold of Bill Murray to do anything is good luck.
It would have been one of the things where Bill Murray just drives by a radio station randomly in L.A. and he's like, hey, what's going on over there? And he just pops in. Hey, you guys are making a movie today? What's up? I've been a fan of this movie a long time, and we were going to do the movie for 104.
Yes.
You know, that we were just going to jump ahead, but I was flipping through the DVD book, and I saw Airheads. I'm like, dude, we should do that one. Like, I ain't watched that movie in so long. And I'm glad we did.
It holds up. Well, mostly. The music's a bit old now.
Well, yeah, but you can, if you're a fan of that style of music,
that's true.
it's still, I mean, Lemmy's in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
White Zombie's
in it. Who else? I was thinking of, the guy that played Kramer.
Merchant Marines.
Right. A gun. The chick that plays Brendan Fraser's, the blonde.
Yeah.
Whatever her name was, I can't remember. Kayla, maybe?
Yeah, I think it was Kayla.
Okay. We were sitting there watching the movie last night, and I'm like, what the hell do I know her from besides this movie? The wife told me she was in Crybaby, which I don't remember watching Crybaby. I wasn't a big fan of that movie, so that I can vaguely remember seeing her in it, okay, but Melrose Place.
She was.
She was on Melrose Place.
I never watched Melrose Place.
I remember it. I don't remember watching the show, you know, regularly, but I do remember her being on there.
Fair enough.
And the dude from Spinal Tap.
Michael McKean?
Yep.
Yeah.
His role is great. And we're watching it, and Joe Montagna or whatever his name is, he comes on, and the wife's like, hey, Law & Order, SVU, or whatever show he's on now.
Oh, okay. I was like, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing was trying to figure out, because he played the voice of Fat Tony on The Simpsons.
Wait a minute. Fat Tony.
The mob boss.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Brendan Fraser's character, when he lets Yvonne go, he's like, you can make it home in time to watch The Simpsons. And I was like, he's Fat Tony. I was like, who else was on The Simpsons? So I did a little digging.
Oh, all right.
Not a whole lot because,
you know,
it's tough to find out the guest stars on The Simpsons because that's just a laundry list a mile long.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's on that list.
A good chunk.
I would assume.
Yeah. But Joe Mantegna is Fat Tony. He's been on it since 91 or 92, something like that.
Yep.
Really early on. I think it was like season 2.
Okay.
Brendan Fraser was on there once. Played a guy named Brad. Okay. Steve Buscemi played himself, because why not?
Right.
Michael McKean has been 2 characters. They're one was David St. Hubbins, and another one was Jerry Rude. For the life of me, I could not.
Not without looking up episode titles and trying to figure out.
But I did find an interesting tidbit.
Okay.
So Matt Groening,
Yes.
big fan of The Breakfast Club.
Really?
Yeah. So much so that Nelson Muntz is named after Judd Nelson.
No kidding.
Who played Bender.
Right.
And on Futurama, Bender is the robot. He named 2 characters based off them.
After Judd Nelson, who is also in Airheads.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool.
Super duper. Matt Groening must have time traveled back, knew that shit was going to happen.
I'm getting in on this.
He's like, you guys are going to make a horrible movie. Just cut me in. Let me get some people involved. David Arquette's in it. I don't remember the character name, but the black guy in the radio station who's like, oh, white man with a gun.
Mono is swine.
That guy. He actually, I think, is in House of Cards now, or was in House of Cards.
I've only seen the first season.
Yeah. He's the guy that runs the rib place.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's the same actor. I didn't look it up, but it was just when he was watching him talk, I was like, I think I know that dude. Who else was in it? No, we pretty much mentioned everybody worthy of mentioning. I looked into the writer, Rich Wilkes.
I did too.
His work is noted. It's rooting in contemporary music and youth culture.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really write too much. The Jerky Boys was like the biggest thing I found.
Really?
Yeah.
I found he did the screenplay for the Netflix movie The Dirt, the biopic about Motley Crue.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't see that in here.
Then he did a lot of like early before Airheads. He did documentaries about like punk rock and
I saw
other
all
music.
that. Yep. I just saw he collaborated with the Jerky Boys to write that movie in '95,
Mm-hmm.
and then he got a screenwriter credit on Triple X, and then he wrote a '94 comedy, The Stoned Age.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, but I don't.
Yeah, I can't. The title sounds familiar.
You could have seen it on
Yeah.
USA 20 years ago or something, 15 years ago. But yeah, he didn't have a whole lot. That Dirt thing though, did you see that?
The Dirt? Yeah.
It was a pretty fucked up movie.
It was.
I guess the book is like 3 times as bad.
Nikki Sixx's book,
The stories.
Well, I do know for the movie they did take pieces from all their biographies or memoirs, whatever you want to fucking call them, to fill in gaps and get different perspectives on things.
Yeah. The director, Michael Lehman.
Yeah, he did some work.
Did he? Okay, I didn't check into him. I just clicked on it here.
What he did, Heathers. Oh, what else did he do?
He supervised cameras on films that included The Outsiders. He's most known for directing the black comedy Heathers. He also directed 40 Days and 40 Nights, The Truth About Cats and Dogs, Hudson Hawk, Meet the Applegates, Airheads, and Because I Said So. He got his first. He directed his first television commercial for McDonald's in '96, and then he worked on the short-lived HBO comedy series The Comeback, as well as The West Wing. Which I started watching The West Wing because I needed something new.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad,
and there's a lot of it too. So
yeah,
you got time to get deep into it.
He guest directed on Larry Sanders, and he did episodes of Big Love and True Blood, as well as Californication.
Wow,
this guy's got some work, man. That's pretty cool, though. It was such a great movie, dude. Like all the one-liners from the movie, and Adam Sandler's part is probably one of my favorite characters in the movie.
Spin around in it like an egg.
Yeah, I mean, like we got to send somebody out. I'll go. One of the hostages. The best part is when he's like, "What's your name?" My name's Pip. The band name.
Oh,
he doesn't wear a helmet, does he? How do you pluralize Lone Ranger?
The Lone Ranger.
That's just the
There's 3
goofiest
of you.
thing.
You're not exactly lone.
I have no idea what you're saying right now.
I mean, it fit well for the times.
Oh, dude.
Band names.
the beginning of the movie when he gets thrown out of the record label
Mm-hmm.
and he goes home and he's watching videos on the couch and she comes home from work. And I was thinking, like, summer 1994, Los Angeles Strip. That had to be one of the best times to be in rock and roll music. Late 80s, early 90s, basically, like 85 to 95, 96. That had to be the best time to be out there and to be in music like that. Whether you're trying to make it or just listening to it. Yeah, right.
Just in the scene overall. And especially you got the whiskey, you got Rainbow Room, you got, name it.
The Roxy, right?
Roxy,
Isn't that a place? Yep. That's on my bucket list. I'd like to go out there one time and just hit all those bars.
It is not as impressive.
No.
You're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I imagine walking up and down there at night on a Saturday or something where it's
probably a whole different feel to it. But I've driven by. My buddy was like, hey, there's the Roxy. And I was like, no shit.
That's it, huh? Look at there.
It's like there's a couple boutiques down the line. And you're just like, I would not have picked it. Like, that's not what I imagined.
Yeah, but in the middle of the day, too.
Yeah.
Like, those places, they tend to not open till, 7, 8 p.m. 3 a.m. rolls around and it's last call, you know? That movie basically made me want to be on the radio. It wasn't so much
the shark yourself.
Yeah, kind of. And to work, like when he goes to the record release party and he gets up on stage and introduces the band, then he walks over to the little booth where it's
Pepto and beer, and just
right. But then
too old for this shit.
Yeah, they break in and just him doing what he's doing and spins the microphone around, and it was like, I want to do that. I want to be on the radio. That was the moment. I can remember that. Yes, distinctly. That and then Empire Records.
Good movie. Made
me want to work in a record store. And I got to do that like 2 or 3 different times.
I heard that movie is very accurate.
It was accurate for one of the record stores I worked in.
Okay.
You can't even call them record stores.
No.
Just music store, I guess would be the way to put it.
It's probably better.
Mm-hmm.
That and High Fidelity.
Yes, that was a good one too. I just liked Empire Records better.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cooler movie. But I remember the first record store I worked at, I went in expecting it to be like that, and it wasn't. Like the manager wasn't cool at all, and some of the other employees weren't cool at all. It was just like,
shit.
You guys work in a record store, man. You're supposed to be the happiest people on earth, aside from like maybe Santa Claus. You know? Come on.
You're working with what you love.
Right.
I have found with most people who've spent a lot of time in record stores, they have a very specific skill where if you're stuck trying to think of a song, and you just go, the song that's like, da 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 da, and they're like, oh yeah, that's Metallica, Black Album, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, it is.
Or if they don't know, they give you to somebody else that works there who listens to that kind of music.
Yeah, well, that's not my department. I'm more like contemporary country.
Yeah.
Go talk to Ricky.
It was like that at, I'll say the name because they're not even a company anymore, but Harmony House was where I worked. And it was like that. The crew that worked there, and I was younger, I was like 18 years old, and most of the people I worked with were 22 to 35, 36. So I was definitely the young buck when it came to the industry and all that good shit. But I know my fair share of music. I've been involved in it for quite some time. And it was like you had the one kid, he was a rapper. He was in a rap group. If you wanted rap music, he was the guy. There was another chick that worked there. She was into Michael Jackson and pop music and different things. If you had a question about that, go talk to her. That actually, one of the coolest things I ever got to do working in the record studio was when people would come in for autograph signings. And I got to meet a couple of pretty cool people that way. Yeah. And then this was still when Ticketmaster was in the record store.
Ooh.
So I had to work ticket sales. Saturday mornings, 10 a.m., that's when tickets hit.
Yep.
Dude, people were crazy for wrestling tickets.
Really?
Oh, my goodness. I had to work a wrestling pay-per-view event, and then I had to work a Rolling Stones ticket sale.
Oh, Jesus.
Lined up around the block.
Easily.
Throwing $100 bills at me, getting mad at each other in line because they were, hearing that it was selling out quick and stuff. And,
just chaos. A riot ready to break out.
Oh, I'm telling you what. I had a box in between my feet off the counter. We weren't even using the register because it was just too chaotic, right? So
it would take too long.
Somebody's at the computer. How many tickets do you want? And it was best available.
Yeah.
We put the number in and we hit print, and that's what you get. There was no picking your seats. There was none of that bullshit, right? I need 4, as close as you can get. Type in 4, hit enter. Boom, here you go. They print out.
This much.
I'm taking cash and just swiping it off the counter into this
like a
box.
bucket.
That's it.
Damn.
Thousands and thousands of dollars.
And then afterwards, you got to go through that fucking box, sort all the money.
I didn't.
That's nice.
The managers did, but no, it wasn't me. The wrestling was the one that people got the most pissed about because they wanted to be as close as they could to the ring, you know. The Stones concert, people were just happy they could get
there.
tickets.
Yeah. Shit.
Mind you, this was 1998.
So
the Stones are still playing.
Yeah. Barely, but they're going.
Right.
Shit. They're probably in their 80s almost.
We had
Good for them, though.
We would show up to work at Harmony House at 8:30 in the morning on a Saturday.
And there's already a line.
There was already a line of 300 people going down the front of the strip mall that it was in. Ridiculous. It's fucking 25 degrees outside in February, and these people are lined up for tickets to go see wrestling. I was like, this is insane.
The struggles before the internet.
Man, oh man, I am in the wrong business. I need to get in the ticket voucher business somehow because this is crazy. I mean, I don't remember if I ever slept outside overnight for tickets because you used to be able to do that at the mall. People did that all the time. But I remember going really early to get tickets. Really, really early. Like 5 a.m. just to get in line to walk through Hudson's or whatever Mervyn's it was. Go upstairs.
That's crazy to think about now. Like where we're at with technology and the ease of shopping overall.
You just buy a ticket. It's on your phone.
Bring up the app. Boop. Done.
Screenshot that shit. Hold it at the gate. They scan it. You're in.
Don't even need fucking like tangible tickets.
Which is a bummer for me because I collect them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
you can print out this voucher or whatever it is that the email comes in, but it's weird.
It's not the same as having an actual ticket stub.
Very true.
Like you used to get, you know.
Orange and white.
It says Ticketmaster all over it.
Everywhere.
All your important information was on it. Now it's just like, oh, look, I got a ticket on my phone. Here we go. Let me in.
Boop.
It's crazy. Same thing with the music you get now, you know.
Yeah.
There's no more needing to break into the radio station to get your song on the radio.
Just post it to YouTube.
They'll just
SoundCloud.
Play it, right. They'll play it because it's getting so much traction on the internet. Just to get not ratings, but you know the number radio stations go by, the hourly numbers.
Yeah.
The other reason I think I love that movie so much was because not at that time, but 5 years after that movie came out, I was in a band, you know. So there was always that thought of, well, we could do this.
All we got to do is go down to the riff or wherever.
Well, that's the thing, too. We didn't go through with, trying to hold the radio station hostage or anything.
Oh, no.
But when we recorded our demo and we put it out, we took a copy all the way up to 89X, dropped it off to the person at the desk, and then we had all of us and our friends called every day for 2 weeks and requested our song. Those DJs knew who we were. They were like, we're not playing your stuff. Just stop calling. We can't.
Come on.
Right.
Unsolicited.
That's exactly what it was, too. It was so bad. We knew it.
Oh, yeah.
But we just kept on and kept on.
Can't score if you don't take the shot.
That's true. We never scored. Not with that plan. There was other plans that went through, but not that one. In the back of my mind, though, I was always like, if we get a couple of BB guns, we go break in this radio station. Then the first time we actually went to a radio station as a band, there was no way we would have broken.
Oh, fuck no.
It was way, way tighter security than
it's
in
like
the movies.
Fort Knox. Yeah, it's surprising.
And again, it was only 5 years after that movie came out. So, and I know it's a movie, but
still, they make it look so easy.
The first thing you notice when they go to the radio station is there's no fucking cars in the parking lot.
At all.
That's why I told the wife, I'm like, it's got to be like a Sunday morning that they're doing this, right?
Minimal staff.
There's no cars.
Yeah.
But then the whole building is full of people. Well, not full, but there's the few people that are working. And Ian the Shark, who is their radio voice, is working on shift. I don't think that guy would have a Sunday morning shift,
No.
So it's like, what's going on here?
There was an interesting little bit of trivia I found out. The radio station they used for the movie shares a parking lot with Nakatomi Building for Die Hard.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, they shot on 2 locations. One was in L.A., one was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that when I looked up some information on the movie. But that's pretty cool.
Nice little tie to Die Hard. Never a bad thing.
There was a couple of other... there was a really good one when they finally take over the radio station and they start taking phone calls. And then,
You going Beavis and Butthead?
I am Cornholio.
Right there, man.
Which is interesting, because Beavis and Butthead came out in 93.
No,
when
it
the
had
series came out.
Oh, okay. No, it had to be earlier than that, did it? No?
93.
Really?
Airheads is 94, so they did get a lot of publicity with the whole, like, don't let your kids watch Beavis and Butthead. But it's still surprising that, like, Judge probably knew somebody, or they were, like, aiming for a younger crowd, and they thought maybe...
Well, I think at that time, too, when Beavis and Butthead, their show came out, they were still playing music videos.
True.
Right, and so the rock and roll music thing, and, excuse me, with the theme of the movie, I guess it kind of fit for the times. You got to improvise. No dice, bro. I already tried that. She's out for the night. You're going to have to go find her. She's probably on the strip somewhere.
A blonde wearing something leather and tight.
Great. Grand.
Wonderful.
And then he finds her. First bar. Just sitting at the bar by herself. No big deal.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
And to when he gets in the mosh pit. I'm like, how did nobody grab his gun or something? You know, I was like, he's getting thrown around. Chris Farley, he's a big dude. His character's just getting tossed around in that pit. Although I will say I've been in pits before. It's entirely possible. I've seen some big dudes go down, so.
It's impressive, though, because most of the time big dudes are aware that they could really fuck somebody's day up, so they go at it, but not as hard as they can.
Yeah.
Unless somebody pisses them off, and then you just see a body fly.
Oh, yeah. Saw a couple of them the other night at our concert we went to. We were standing right behind the pit. I was like, I ain't getting in that shit.
Oh, no.
I'm too old for that.
Young man's game.
The one thing that did upset me about, like, watching the movie and remembering being in a band and trying to get your music out there was the whole unsolicited thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine if the dude in the beginning of the movie would have gave him 3 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah.
You know? He might not have liked the song.
No.
Probably would have still told him to leave, but give him that. I guess that's what the internet's done for us now, right?
Apparently, yeah.
That's what
it's
it is.
Taken a lot of steps out, but it's also added a huge amount of steps you got to go through now, because much like anything, podcasting, making a YouTube channel of anything, it's so saturated, so flooded, getting people to come and look at your stuff now is the goal.
Mm-hmm. Unless you do something crazy to stand out.
Hold up a radio station.
So if you were going to rewrite or remake Airheads now, you would almost have to do like a podcast studio or, you know.
I don't know. You could take it a lot of different ways.
I guess you could still do a radio station. I mean, they're still there. They're still operating. You wouldn't have to do it to get airplay, though.
No.
I wonder what the point would be.
You could do an interesting take where instead of like the radio station, they're going after like getting most imprints on iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever.
Right.
And then they have a friend who dabbles in like coding and shit, who has access to like a artificial intelligence algorithm or something, and they start using that to feed in their shit, but their music sucks. Just like hands down sucks. But that's what gets them noticed.
Is how bad their music is.
Is how bad their music is, and they're getting so much traffic, and like, say, like blogs and articles start picking up on it in the music industry, and they're like, who the fuck are these guys?
What is going on with this terrible music?
Who the fuck are the donut holes, and why am I listening to their music?
Have you ever seen, do you pay attention to some of the themed bands that are around nowadays?
No, not
There's
really.
one called, I think the band is called Oakley Dokley.
Yes, it's a Finland metal band.
They all dress like Ned Flanders.
Yeah.
And I think their songs are all Simpson themed. I don't know that part, but I was like, dude, that's fucking crazy. It's like a tribute band, but it's not.
Yeah. There's who are they touring with? Oh, man.
Oh, they've been here a couple of times.
I know, but there's another band that's in a similar vein. Here, let me look it up real quick.
You talking about Max Sabbath?
Yes.
Yeah. The McDonald's.
They're all Ronald McDonald clowns.
Yeah, it's called the American Cheese Tour 2019. That's pretty funny. I might have heard one or two of their songs just checking it out to be funny about it, but it's never been a serious thing where I'm like, holy shit, I'm a huge fan of these guys.
No.
Because they dress like Ned Flanders. That's in Airheads, remember in the beginning when he's sneaking into the record label and the guy's like, do whatever if you're feeling crazy. If you want to wet your pants. Well, what do we say? Are you kidding me?
Keep your mouth shut.
Don't
you know
say
how much those
anything.
hats set me back? Getting that fucking hat.
You can get those hats at the carnival.
For like $2.
Right. Throw a couple darts at a balloon. You can get one of them hats. They're like a Halloween costume now. It's crazy to think that they could write that kind of movie. It would take place in a whole day.
You know? That's a lot to go
Well,
down.
now, you know.
Yeah.
The majority of the movie takes place in a whole day. Oh, man, it brought back so many memories.
I've always thought that the guy who worked with Steve Buscemi's character Rex at Toys R Us.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell old man Carruthers or whatever he said. So creepy looking.
I wonder what else he's been in.
That's a good question.
I don't even know how you would. I guess you just have to look up the cast, right, and hope that he's getting.
He should.
He should have a credit at least.
You would think.
He did have a line.
If I remember his name.
He reminds me of the dude from Grandma's Boy, the robot, JP.
I am a robot.
Yeah, that dude.
So, Lemmy is credited as Lemmy Von Motorhead.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's probably because he was editor of the school magazine.
I do not see the creepy kid on there.
No?
No. I'd have to go back and remember what his name was.
Oh, in the movie, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if they even say his name. Oh, I think he does because he said, I'm off the clock or I'm out of here or something.
You handle it or something.
Yeah. He is a weird-looking dude. As far as band, ooh, man, look at a picture of Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, he's looking rough these days.
Looking rough. As far as movies about music and bands and different things, that was always one of my favorites. I'd say that. Probably Almost Famous was another good one.
Not a bad movie.
Yeah, I was all right with Spinal Tap. Like, I get it. I get the funny of it and all that, but I don't know. I thought it could have been better, I guess. But whatever.
So to kind of jump back onto the whole possible remake idea.
Okay.
If you could cast people in the band, who would you put in that band?
If we were remaking Airheads.
Yeah.
And I need 3 people to put in the band. That's a good question. I would want to do probably like older rockers too. You know, I wouldn't want them to be young actors. I would want them to be older. Oh man, I don't know. You got something?
No, I don't.
Oh,
That was
okay.
just off the top of my
I thought
head.
maybe you had something that you were like, this is going to be awesome.
I was just trying to figure, like, having the combination of Adam Sandler, Steve Buscemi, and Brandon Fraser worked wonderfully.
It did.
And it was, I believe, the first time that Adam Sandler and Buscemi worked together.
Yeah. That sounds about right. It was 94. Okay, I got one. Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Which School of Rock is another movie that I thought was great. I thought it was a fantastic movie, especially at the end when the kids get to perform. Always gets me. I'm like, this is awesome. Except the kid that plays guitar in that movie grew up to be kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Stealing guitars and
shit went south for him in real life.
Pulled over for drunk driving and different things. Jack Black could be cool. I would put him in it. I don't know what instrument, if he would be the drummer or guitar player, singer, you know. Who else would be kind of good? Man, I don't know. That's tough.
It is tough. Because you would need the right balance, too. All of them have to be funny in varying degrees, but one has to be like the straight guy.
Yeah. Okay, I would bring Charlie Kelly from Sunny. I think I would put him in a band.
As Pip.
There you go. Yeah, make him the drummer. Make Jack Black Rex's character. And then for Brendan Fraser's character,
Dave Grohl.
That would be sweet if he would do it. That would be cool. But I was going to say maybe Will Ferrell, but
I wouldn't say Will Ferrell.
maybe Will Ferrell is the guy that works at the radio station.
Yeah,
he's Ian the
Ian,
Shark.
yeah.
Or
the what the fuck is his name? Ian McKean.
Michael McKean.
Michael McKean's character, the station manager.
Yeah, what was his name? Milo.
Milo. Yeah.
You're firing me? Ooh, man, that third one. That's a thinker.
That's going to be tough.
I might have to come back to that one. But Jack Black and Charlie Kelly might be a good, at least good starting point.
I did read that Chaz's character was originally going to be played by John Cusack.
Really?
Yeah, that's who they wanted for it.
I don't know if that would have worked.
That would not have been the same movie in my mind.
Was he a bigger actor in 94?
Oh,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would have sucked.
I don't know if it would have sucked, but it would have been completely different.
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah. I think it would have sucked. I'm not a huge fan of his, but that's just me.
That's fair.
I'm not like a terribly big fan of Brendan Fraser either, but...
No, but he fit well in it.
Right. He's had a couple of good roles.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was great in School Ties. I thought that was a great movie.
The chick that played his girlfriend was actually the love interest in School Ties with him.
She was... Really?
Yeah. The Melrose Place chick.
I guess I must have missed that. And I didn't really dig into her credits. I saw Melrose Place, and I was like, that's it. I remember. She was in School Ties, huh? With who? Matt Damon.
Was Vince Vaughn in that, too?
I think Vince Vaughn was in it, too. Yep.
Or was it Affleck?
No, I think Vince Vaughn was in that, yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
Yeah. You know what else I'd like to see again is Encino Man.
Weeds in the Juice.
Yeah. That was another one I liked Brendan Fraser in. One of the few. Okay, Weeds in the Juice. Yeah. Pauly Shore.
Pauly Shore.
What do you think was his best movie?
Ooh. Like in general or like my personal favorite?
Your personal favorite. It wasn't like there was a whole lot to choose from. He had a very select resume when it came to big movies, you know.
Son-in-Law, I would have to say.
Son-in-Law?
Yeah.
I think
then Encino Man would be second.
Mine was probably Jury Duty.
Jury Duty was great.
I thought Jury Duty
was...
It's
the peanut code.
I would go Jury Duty and then probably Son-in-Law. And then maybe In the Army Now just because of how bad it was.
I liked it, but I was young.
Him and Andy Dick. Ridiculous. Did you ever see, what is it called? Pauly Shore's Not Dead or something? It's a movie he made a couple of years ago. And they basically went around and talked to celebrities. And I don't know if it was staged. Not staged, but I don't know if it was a fictional script or if these celebrities really thought Pauly Shore was dead.
That's
they all like talked about him like he was not
a third. Yeah,
right.
Like, oh man, I missed that guy.
Whatever happened to that dude? Or maybe he was in disguise or something. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've seen it.
He's very active on YouTube. He has his YouTube channel.
Really?
But it's just like him discussing his day and his thoughts.
Yeah, he's what, 50 now?
Easily. No offense, but
I mean, he had to be at least 10 years older than me when he was doing all the movies, I would think. And I believe, didn't his mom left him the comedy store, right?
Yeah.
He is the owner of it, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, and then he lives like right behind it or some crazy shit.
Yeah. That's got to be crazy growing up in that atmosphere with all those like top tier comedians coming in and out.
Basically babysitting you.
Basically babysitting while they're doing coke over here. And
dude, he's 51.
51.
He'll be 52 on February 1st.
He's looking rough, too.
He was a MTV VJ in 89, and that led to starring in the comedy Encino Man in 92. Biodome. Dude, I can't believe I forgot about Biodome. We should do that one next.
We'll put it on the list. Yep. What year was that?
Biodome was 96.
Okay.
So it went Encino Man, Son-in-Law, In the Army Now, Jury Duty, Goofy Movie.
Hey, he was the friend with the sunglasses.
Yep, and then Biodome was 96, and then he didn't do anything until Pauly Shore's Dead in 2003.
Ouch.
Oh, no.
Oh.
Yeah, no, these are all after.
Okay.
Oh, no, he did The Curse of Inferno in 97.
Oh, everyone remembers that one.
And he was in Four Keeps with Molly Ringwald in 88. But I don't know if... It doesn't look like he's on the movie poster, so I don't think
he's probably in the background or...
Pauly fucking Shore. Biodome. Damn it, I can't believe I forgot about that one. That might actually be my favorite.
Really?
Yeah. Probably because when it came out in 96, I was 16 as opposed to the other movies. I was a little younger.
Yeah, true.
When I watched them.
More relatable.
Mm-hmm. That, and you're like, think about it. Of all the scenarios, right?
Yeah.
So
getting locked in a fucking biodome is more realistic than...
No, not more realistic.
Okay.
I think it would be more fun. Maybe not than finding a caveman. That could be kind of cool.
That could be kind of cool.
But, joining the army, that was never my bag.
No.
Having jury duty, I'm told, sucks. I've never been there.
You've never done jury duty?
No.
Oh, it's rough. It's not a good time.
Actually, I wouldn't mind getting called, but I've never been called.
You say that until you go,
I
and
know.
then you're just like, fuck.
I know. Yeah, something about being locked in a biodome would be kind of funny, I think.
With all these scientists and you don't know shit.
Yep.
Yeah. But yet you're the one that saves the day.
Yep.
That could be interesting.
After ruining the day,
Yeah.
that would be fun.
What's the name of the bad guy? He was the reporter in Die Hard. He was the dean in fucking Real Genius. And he was the lead scientist in that one, I think.
His actor name
Yeah.
or his character name?
The actor
name. The actor name is, where is it?
If it
William Atherton,
is it the right guy I'm thinking about?
Dr. Noah Faulkner.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
He plays a great asshole.
Stephen Baldwin.
What happened to him?
That's a good question.
You could say that for most of the Baldwin brothers. To
True.
be quite fair.
Except Alec. We've seen what happened with him.
That's true. At least he's somewhat relevant these days.
Stephen Baldwin right now is just recently celebrating his daughter's marriage to Justin Bieber.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. His daughter Haley married Justin Bieber. I'm sure he's been out of the limelight lately because he came out as a Trump supporter, and that's not good in that industry.
No.
So
I didn't know he did that,
Yeah.
especially with his brother being on the...
Exactly. I'm sure Thanksgiving is so much fun around the Baldwin house. Did you see the roast of Alec Baldwin?
I did not.
Oh, my goodness. Do yourself a favor when
Watch
you
that.
go home and watch the roast of Alec Baldwin. Specifically, Nikki Glaser, she is brutal. Her and obviously Jeff Ross. Those are the two you want to watch. But Caitlyn Jenner's there. Robert De Niro's there. Yeah. It gets pretty funny. I don't want to say any of the jokes. I don't want to ruin it for you. And
Fair.
I didn't write them. But it's worth the hour and a half, however long it is. Do you remember when we did The Crow a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
It came out in 94. Do you remember what month? It was early, right? May, June, something like that?
April or May, I want to say.
April? Okay.
I mean, we can look it up real
Yeah,
quick.
I'm pulling it up right now. The only reason I ask is because Airheads came out August 5th.
Yeah.
May 11th. Okay, so May 11th, The Crow comes out. Obviously, Ernie Hudson plays a huge role in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure press, all that shit was big for him. And then he probably went and shot Airheads. Or, he would have already been done shooting it, right?
Because they do...
That post-production
months in advance,
shit, right? There you go. But I mean, shit, 3 months later, he's got another, what they would have probably hoped to have been a big movie, even though they only put $11 million in the budget.
Well, I think it was a Saturday Night Live produced movie. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
But if it was, they don't have... At the time, they probably didn't have the war chest. This was after Wayne's World, correct?
That's a good question, too.
That is a good question.
I don't remember when. Did Wayne's World come out in 94?
I want to say 92.
Okay. Yeah, 92, you're right.
Yes. Nice pull.
When I saw that budget of $11 million, I was like, how did they get all these names? Because whether there was, peaks of their career or just starting out, like, let's say, for example, Steve Buscemi.
Okay.
I mean, how much do you think in 1994 he would have signed on to get paid to do that movie? $500,000? Million?
Nah, probably less than $1 million.
Think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially then. I would say...
He was probably the biggest name in the movie at the time, right? Steve Buscemi. Maybe
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis and Ernie Hudson were big.
Yeah. Judd Nelson's pretty big. I mean, that was more on the ass end of his 80s run. But to kind of jump back for Ernie Hudson, 94 was a decent year for the man. He did No Escape with Ray Liotta. Good movie.
Yep.
The Crow. The Cowboy Way, Airheads, and Speechless.
Damn.
The man gets business.
Is he? Do you think he's still making movies? Have you seen him in something lately?
He's going to be in Ghostbusters, baby.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Very excited about that.
Yeah. Well, rightfully so.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'll tell you, I caught like 30 seconds of that all-chick Ghostbusters on TV the other day. It was a tough 30 seconds of my life. I mean, I had my finger on the button of the remote, like I'm going to turn the channel. It's going to happen. And I just kept waiting, and then I was like 30 seconds hit and off.
There are moments in the movie that are like, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, it was so forced. Like, it had a decent beginning, and then from that on, it was just like, we're going to take Bridesmaids and every other movie like that and throw a Ghostbusters theme over the top.
Do you think Hollywood does that to pressure somebody to do it properly afterward? Or do you think they're just like, throw it out there and let's see if we make our money back?
To be honest, I think it's more of like, they'd give no fucks other than, well, all right, Bridesmaids pulled in this much. All the other movies like that pulled in this much. So, boom. And Ghostbusters brought in, and they have that fan base and that fan base together. We're going to make so much money. On paper, looks great.
Right.
Finished product, they're like, huh.
Good luck.
Huh. Okay. So we're not doing that again. So you got Ivan Reitman's son coming up and going, no, I'm going to do the movie. I got everybody else from the originals that want to do it too.
Right.
I got permission from the people I need permission from, except for you guys.
That's what I wonder. Do you think he was waiting? Like, he heard through the grapevine, obviously, because he has connections, right? And he's like, okay, they're making one. Let's wait and watch how bad it sucks. And I'll just kind of get my shit ready.
That's a good question. I would have to go through and see interviews if he was asked that to see his impression.
Yeah.
But I think it's just his love for it, being so close to the project, and all the people associated to it.
Yeah, and the fact that he could get who he's gotten to sign on, that's a big deal.
Again, people that probably babysat him.
Well, you ever went through Judd Nelson's? He's got a lot of movies, man. That guy's been in a lot of shit.
Yeah, he is. Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He was in Boondock Saints, too. The hell did he do in that movie?
Was he a cop? I've watched Boondock Saints 2 once. I made the mistake of buying it before watching it.
You didn't like it?
No. It was the same as the first Boondocks, just not as good.
Right.
But I did like they delved into the dad's backstory more.
They're supposedly writing the third one, but then I know it took a turn into that TV show.
series, and then it kind of shelved for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He played the boss.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Forgot all about that. So what you're saying is we shouldn't put that movie on the list anytime soon?
I would prefer the first one over the sequel. As it seemed like some parts were like really well done, well thought out, well shot. And then some parts were like, fuck, we got to slap a movie together.
That's from what I read, or not read, what I saw in that documentary about the guy that wrote Boondock Saints. Mm-hmm. That's kind of how it went. Because they shelved it. The second one was never supposed to come out.
How many years was it in between the two?
Quite a few.
Like double digits?
Maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
Maybe.
I will say Rocco's speech is one of the most inspiring, like, damn, okay. John motherfucking Wayne.
He's the funny guy.
Yeah. They should do a series based on him, like Rocco's character. I know he's dead, but
maybe the TV show, right?
How he got into when he got the cat.
I think it'd be cool to meet people like that write movies or have those impact roles. I'm a fan. So Napoleon Dynamite is turning 15 years old.
Oh my God!
Yes, I know, right? So John Heder, whatever his name is, the guy that plays Pedro, and the guy that plays Uncle Rico, are going on a tour where they're going to screen the movie and then do a Q&A
afterwards. That would be amazing.
It's coming to the Redford Theater.
Is it?
In January.
Oh, shit.
Meet and greet VIP tickets are $75.
That isn't bad at all.
Not at all. Because you're going to get to see the movie, which obviously, whatever, we've seen it.
Yeah.
But the Q&A would be pretty cool. But the meet and greet would be fucking sweet. To get a picture with Uncle Rico, that would be killer.
Have you seen that quarterback for the Jaguars?
Yeah. The picture they took together?
Oh, God. And I like a couple of weeks ago, like, just the way he dresses and acts, they're like, yeah.
The headband.
He could throw that football over a mountain. Then he actually gets a picture with Uncle Rico, and he looks more like Uncle Rico than Uncle Rico does.
It looks like he could be his kid, for sure.
If they do a sequel, just have him show up as, like, cousin or something.
I'm Uncle Rico's kid. I came to get him. I need his help in the NFL. Wonder why they never wrote a sequel to Napoleon Dynamite.
They probably did. They just probably couldn't get it going.
That started off as like a half-hour black and white, not a skit, a short, I guess is what they call them. And then got a bunch of attention online, I imagine.
I would assume.
Here we go, full-on movie.
Much like Letterkenny. That's how that blew up.
Yeah. The Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
I wonder of all those, which one blew up the most, like the biggest.
Well, it's hard to correlate between the two different time frames. And, like, Napoleon Dynamite, internet was around, but it wasn't what it is now.
No.
So connecting and what Trailer Park Boys was in between.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to gauge that.
Just sheer popularity.
I'd say Trailer Park Boys is in the lead.
Probably. That shit's really, I mean, they've done movies, they do tours, they do all kinds of fun stuff. I've never really gotten into that show.
No?
No.
Not really.
I've seen, the wife will watch it, and I'll catch little bits and pieces of it.
Like on YouTube, I'll catch, like, highlights or, like, best of certain characters and shit.
And I wonder, too, okay, so The Office started over in, UK or somewhere over there. And then they wrote it for America.
Yep.
Right? Wonder why Trailer Park Boys didn't do that. Where they didn't, I don't want to use the word sell out. That's kind of a shitty way to put it.
No,
but make it like an actual.
License it out.
Yeah, a TV show. Like a scripted. I know it's scripted. Damn, I'm just using the wrong words. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't do it. If they were just making enough money the way they were.
They felt like it was theirs and they didn't want to give it up.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have the opportunity.
True. Same thing with Sunny.
Oh, yeah.
When they first started. Like, they were hardly into their new season. The first episode's hilarious. Season 14.
That's crazy.
I know, right?
Can you take Charlie Day and Danny DeVito out? It would never have the same legs.
Oh, hell no. That show would have folded a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Probably, if they wouldn't have got Danny DeVito on board, it probably wouldn't have lasted as long as it did.
That's also true. You can never go wrong with Danny DeVito. Personal opinion.
There's a picture going around of a prime minister of a country, and they took the picture of that dude, and they tweeted it out, and it says it looks like Danny DeVito is playing this guy. Mm-hmm. It looks he looks like Danny DeVito.
It's unfortunate.
With gray hair. There's also a picture going around, somebody photoshopping Danny DeVito's face on chicks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy looking.
There's a Instagram page. Oh, what the fuck is her name? Kathy Bates. All this Instagram page does is Photoshop Kathy Bates' face on other people and other things. And some of it's hilarious. Some of it's scary. It's quite amazing.
So back to Airheads real quick. Some of the numbers. IMDb. I don't know if it's users or critics how they rate, but it got a 6.1 out of 10, which was lower than Great Outdoors and The Crow. And that makes sense.
Yeah.
21% on Rotten Tomatoes, which I'm guessing is the critics score, because that's the one I think Google usually posts.
Usually, yeah.
That's rough. 21%? I mean, unless they're basing that on the money it made.
Probably. Well, depends on the critic.
Maybe I just like shitty movies. I don't know. Because I thought it was... I can watch that movie once a week, and I'd be happy.
Easily. It's one of those ones you catch it on TV. You'll sit down and watch it.
You know what another one of those movies is? Which I hate watching if it were on regular TV because the edit is so terrible to the movie, but Private Parts, the Howard Stern movie.
Yeah. That's a completely different movie when you watch it whole.
It's like a totally different story. And then, of course, we don't really need to go through Adam Sandler's
laundry list. Of
that guy's done so much shit since Airheads.
Yeah, since 94. Yeah, he's done one or two things.
It's so crazy. Well, he was in Going Overboard in '89, but that probably didn't make any money at all.
No.
That was probably before his that was definitely before his SNL years, 89, what'd I say?
That might have been like the first or second year.
Billy Zane was in it with him. Billy Bob Thornton was in it. Burt Young was in it. Wow. Maybe I have to watch that. Yeah, Adam Sandler's got too many movies to go through. We could spend an entire show going through each one of his movies.
Easily.
There's just too many. I don't even know that I could pick a favorite.
Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
I got one.
Which one?
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore?
I would say that is his best comedy movie.
Yeah. It was a little bit better than Billy Madison.
Yeah.
And that's what a year will do to an actor. I was a big fan of The Wedding Singer.
That was good.
Click was a good movie.
Click was a very good movie.
Yep. I don't think he was in this, but this is in the list of movies related to Adam Sandler. Do you remember Dirty Work?
Love that movie. Artie Lang.
Norm Macdonald.
So good.
And
Chris Farley.
Christopher McDonald was in it. He plays Travis Cole.
He does.
Yep. He's definitely got to thumb up that dog's ass.
Did you fart? Oh, wait, no, that was me from earlier.
Whores. Chevy Chase was in that movie. Do you remember Screwed?
Oh.
Norm Macdonald, Dave Chappelle, and Danny DeVito.
Where he was the chauffeur.
Yep.
Yeah.
For the old lady.
Danny DeVito was the mortician. It was creepy as fuck.
And Dave Chappelle was his buddy. And they Mrs. Croc, the employer from hell. That movie came out in 2000. I would have thought that was older than that.
2000 was 19 years ago.
I know.
Which doesn't really seem like it.
No.
But
DeVito's character name was Grover Cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle was Rusty P. Hayes. Dude, that movie got 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that great of a movie, but it was entertaining.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it, too.
I enjoyed Dirty Work. You know, it's something about Norm Macdonald, his humor. A lot of people didn't like it. They still don't. A lot of people still don't like it for some reason. The budget for Screwed was $10 million.
Wow.
It had Sarah Silverman in it. I forgot about that. We should look up a list for what movie was the least amount to make for the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And then the most amount to make would probably be a little easier to find, right?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't Avatar. Avatar made more. Was it the Avengers movies?
I think the latest Avengers was the most spent, but then it made the most, too.
Titanic was up there on that list. I know that one was a lot of money to make.
I think before that was Cleopatra.
Okay.
With
Let's see.
Elizabeth Taylor.
Smallest movie budget. Let's see if that search pulls anything up. Low budget films. One of the most successful low budget films was 1999's Blair Witch Project. It had a budget of around $60,000 and grossed almost $249 million worldwide. It spawned books, a trilogy of video games, and a less popular sequel.
They made video games out of that?
I guess. Take a look at the 15 low-budget movies that turned out to be, from a commercial standpoint, phenomenal investments. American Graffiti, 73, Napoleon Dynamite, Friday the 13th, Open Water, Once, Saw, Primer, The Evil Dead. Evil Dead had a budget of $375,000.
That's actually kind of a lot for what they did.
Oh, no, this says Blair Witch had a budget of $35,000.
Well, yeah.
It was with 3 people and a camera, right? That's it. Mad Max, $200,000. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, $5 million. That's not a low budget. Super Size Me, $65,000.
Yeah.
Rocky had $1 million. Night of the Living Dead, $114,000. Napoleon Dynamite, $400,000 budget. Dude, I bet when they signed that contract, they went home and had a party.
Oh, yeah.
For like $20,000 of that.
I'm curious how much they got paid.
It grossed $46 million.
Yeah, but I think they made like $10,000 or something around there. For like the main characters.
I would guess they probably made more on the back end if they were smart with that contract. You know, if you're only giving me if you're only giving me $40,000 to shoot the movie, and let's say you estimate you're going to use 35 of that, you're not going to pay yourself $5,000. Well, you could, or use it for expenses or whatever.
Ooh, John Hader was initially paid just $1,000 to be in the movie.
So he had a budget of $39,000. Or do you think that probably wasn't part of the budget, right?
Well, yeah, it would have to.
Yeah,
be.
okay. So he paid himself $1,000 to shoot that movie. Dude, he probably ate ramen noodles for like weeks. Super Size Me is weird too. I would have think it would have cost him more than $65,000 to travel and eat all that money. Or I mean, eat all that money.
Eat all that McDonald's.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know. How much do you think it would cost for us to do like a short budget something?
A short budget something?
Yeah, like say 5-minute, 6-7 minute video, short story, short film. And let's say the only real thing we would need would be the camera.
Pretty much.
You know, however much that would cost to rent or buy, whatever.
Safely, probably around $5,000.
Yeah. And that's basically just paying the time for recording and editing, right?
Yeah.
I'd still like to do one.
It would be sweet.
About JPU and the delivery game.
It would be amazing.
We got stories for days.
True, but a friend of the show would have to play himself.
A lot of friends of the show would have to play themselves.
True.
Not me. I don't want to act in it.
No.
I just want to write it and help shoot it. Because I have, like, if you were doing 7-minute episodes, just little short films that you could put out real quick. Some of the interactions we've had, mainly on the delivery side, you know,
yeah.
to shoot inside shots would be a little more expensive because you would have to rent out a location to shoot in or have somebody cool enough to let you use their building after hours or before you start the day. It just bums me out when we had that location, we didn't do it because we were there.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
everything was there,
spot.
just the cameras. I mean, some of the stories, though, would be hard to reproduce.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, there was some crazy stuff.
Right.
There was some weird stuff.
Well, that's the beauty of actors.
That is the beauty
You
of
just
actors.
give them the scenario, the situation, and you just tell them, hey, this is what we want you to do, and then let's see what happens, you know. I have at least the first, you see, me and another friend of the show, Rob, our photography friend, we were going to try it. I wrote out a script, you know, for a 5-minute episode 1, if I may. I think it would have been cool.
I think so, too. And I think you could have got away with filming it behind the location, not so much in the location, just the exchange between the drivers as they go in and out.
Yeah, and actually the first episode I wrote would have taken place at the front door, and we could have used my house or your house, you know. That whole interaction would have taken place in somebody's front door, which was loosely based on something that actually happened to me. But then just all the other people we know.
Oh, yeah. Their stories.
That have taken part in that industry.
Their character.
Yep.
Yeah. It would be interesting for sure.
So, yeah, like, okay, excuse me, first of all, trademark.
As we're jumping into this.
Yeah, step back off that for a quick second here. What would we, I mean, we have somebody learning how to edit film.
It's true.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
We should be able to get our hands on somebody's camera. There's got to be somebody we know that has a camera capable of recording the video we would need.
We could get our hands on something, yeah.
Right? Wonder if we should try that. I have pizza bags. I can get boxes. We went as far as to come up with a name for our pizza place.
What was the name?
Oh shit. It was the clown that the serial killer plate was pretended to be.
Pogo?
Yep, it was Pogo's Pizza. And the logo was that face.
Ouch.
Yep.
You'd have to change it up a little bit. Just
Yeah, we were throwing things around just to, you know, because we were having fun with the idea. You could name it Pogo's Pizza.
Oh, easily.
You just couldn't use that clown face.
Yeah, you'd have to use like a generic or.
Mm-hmm. Dude, for real, we should try to record something. I don't want to be on camera.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in playing any of the characters.
I still think Austin needs to be a part of it.
Yes, if he wants to. 100%.
His personality. He's like, what do I do? Just be fucking you
Just
and go on a rant.
You.
Yeah.
That's all you'd have to do.
Just
Austin, if you're
motherfucker.
listening, we will shoot this shit in your neighborhood to make it easy on you if you want to be a part of it. And rumor has it, we may or may not know a couple of people that live out near Hollywood that may or may not be in the business or know somebody in the business. So, who knows? Could be cool. And again, trademark, because I've never seen this kind of show. There's never been really movies about pizza delivery guys except that 30 minutes or less movie, but
yeah, that was kind of.
He just happened to be a pizza delivery guy.
It's true.
It wasn't about the shenanigans that go on, like the movie Waiting in the restaurant shenanigans, right?
True.
It would be kind of like that, but a delivery thing.
I mean, you could even change it to make, if need be, to like a Uber Eats or something of that nature.
See, now the way I would look at that is somebody trying to do it with a lot of money would want to do it the Uber Eats thing, whereas we would take like that Kevin Smith Napoleon Dynamite approach where we would do it so low budget. Fuck, we could do it black and white if we wanted to, like Clerks or the original Napoleon Dynamite. But that's how I would want to do it, just as low budget and terrible as possible, because that's almost what brings the humor to the piece, you know. Like, oh my God, these guys made this and then put it out there. Trademark. I swear, if I find out somebody stole this idea, I'll spend all the money I was going to use filming this shit to pay for a lawyer.
Go after it.
I want my ducats. Wow, I can't believe we got there from Airheads.
We jumped around quite a bit.
We did. We got a lot of bubbles on that paper.
Oh, man. You're telling me.
What were some of the quick highlights we covered?
Oh, let's see. Some of the Airheads cast that were on The Simpsons.
Yep.
The early 90s rock scene, Hollywood.
Man, that would have been such a great time to be there.
Really would have. Record store stories. Ideas for a possible remake. The Baldwin brothers. And how they're related to the Biebers now.
Right. I know we covered Pauly Shore for a minute. That was fun. We should definitely add at least Biondo and maybe Son-in-Law to the list.
They could squeak their way on there.
We could put them all on the list. There's so many good old movies. I like that we're doing older movies, so it's kind of fun reminding people that may have not have seen it in a long time. Go back and check it out. Wasn't a bad episode for having to change the movie at the last minute either.
No.
Had fun. What, since we were going to do episode 104's movie, but we didn't, let's go ahead and tell everybody what next week's show is going to be about. Which movie are we going to use?
That would be Wayne's World.
Shit.
Keep it in the SNL lane for a minute.
1992. We covered that earlier. That's another one that has a great cast.
Oh, yeah. Tons of people.
A lot of big names in that. Who was Alice Cooper? I was trying to think, what was the concert they went to? But they do the whole Laverne and Shirley thing, and then they go to see Alice Cooper. That's going to be fun, man. I haven't watched that unedited in quite some time.
That's true.
The second one was all right.
I like the second one.
Yeah.
That was good.
Where he's like, I'm going to cross the T's and dot the lowercase J's.
I'd give my left eye. Ooh,
sorry. That'll be fun because that's going to spawn some Michael Myers talks. And that guy is another one who has a serious list of great movies.
This is true.
Which, if I had to pick one right now, real quick.
Mike Myers?
Yep.
Shit.
So I Married an Axe Murderer.
That would be mine, too.
That has to be my favorite Mike Myers movie.
Boy, head.
Yeah.
No. Cry himself to sleep on his giant pillow.
We have a piper down. Great movie.
Scottish Wall of Fame.
And Stephen Wright's in that movie.
Yeah.
Great flick. I almost feel like we should have done that instead of Wayne's World, but we'll just save that for a later show.
There you go.
So, yes, all in all, big fans of Airheads. We had a lot of fun watching it again. I want to thank you for listening to our episode 103. Looking forward to next week. It'll be fun.
That'll be a good time.
And the other thing, too, now that it's October, officially.
Oh,
officially. It was like
get your Christmas songs ready.
September was like 2 hours long.
It went by really
so quick. Oh, man, I think it had to do with the weather, too. We had some terrible days. It just seemed like it went so quick. It's gone. Now it's October. But we have to start getting ready for the Lampies.
We do.
We have less than 2 months until our second annual Lampy Awards. And we'll definitely have some reconfiguring now.
This is true.
We've taken out some aspects. And yeah, right. So we're going to have a little behind-the-scenes meeting on that. And hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to give you an update. And you'll be as excited as we are.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So until next week, say thank you once again, and have a good night.
It's a pleasure.
Who'd win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Lemmy. God.
Wrong, dickhead. Trick question. Lemmy is God.
Oh, come on.